What's up, everybody? So it's time for another guide, and I'm getting out of Europe. I've been in Europe for a couple months now, and it's time to go into something else, and I figured Mesoamerica, just because I haven't really done the Aztecs yet, and I figured, why not? Because supposedly they made it pretty nice in 1.35, and they did. I actually really enjoy it. So, Aztecs. Pretty simplistic in terms of the estates and privileges. You've seen me do this before, but there's some subtle differences. First off, the institutionalized, I'm not going to even try and pronounce that because I'm definitely not going to say it right. There is no bonus for it, so there's no point in taking it. So don't bother. But then also religious diplomats, well, yes, this will help you get allies. That's not really the point. I'm taking this just because the extra diplomatic reputation will help me call other people into a war, but also that opinion with the same religion helps me avoid coalitions. Not by much, but every little bit helps. Other than that, I am taking up the officers' rights because this does give me a button click here where I can just get a free general and not have to pay for it. And since I'm not going to be taking many other things, might as well. Now, I do start off with a general. He is my ruler, so hopefully he doesn't pass too soon. And I'm going to hire 2 infantry, and then I'm going to hire the free company as well. My economy can afford this so long as I do take the financial demand for the extra tax income, but I should be fine. With that done, we next turn to the allies. Just pick some people that are not direct bordering with you. I almost always will pick up Tonala, Colima, Mixtec, and then I pick up Chichimeca. The reason why is because you have to spend more time to get anybody of the mines down here, but these guys will relatively come and help. They are somewhat decent in size, so it can help sway the balance of the fight in your favor, and that's generally going to be enough. Next, I'm going to take my merchant, switch him over to improved relations, because again, I don't want to be dealing with coalitions, because if you don't handle a coalition, you're going to reform your religion and have made everybody so mad, the entire Mesoamerican area is going to unite against you, and you're going to be attacked repeatedly. And you're not really going to be able to get ready for the Europeans that are inevitably going to show up. So just make sure you're ready to handle keeping that aggressive expansion down, and taking active steps like this will help you do that. Once that's done, just time to unpause. Now we're going to simply wait and see who is the easiest target. As you notice, I did not pick rivals. The reason why is they're going to pick their own alliance network, and it's pretty much completely random every time I play this. Sometimes these guys will ally, sometimes Tlaxcala will have no allies, so they're just the easiest target in the world. So just be prepared to end up playing this a little bit by ear, but then once you find your easy targets, go ahead and rival them. So in this case, it'll be Tlaxcala. And I'm probably going to be going after other people, but this will do for now. And I am going to do the Flower Wars here, but I will talk about why the Flower Wars are not the ideal war goal once I am done fighting this. So I'm going to go ahead and go do that, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So I had the first major event that I want to talk about. So here you have 2 choices. You have one where you have an 80% chance of getting a modifier for every province that you'll ever own that gives autonomy change to your benefit, or 20% chance that noble regiments are going to rise up and you're going to have to fight rebels. The other one is you lose points, but you gain 1 level in this monument. Go with the second option. While I would always love to have that modifier for autonomy, because autonomy is king, at the same time, I would rather have this right now for a very couple of important reasons. One, you don't have a good chance, I mean, you have a good chance, but not a perfect chance, of getting that modifier. Which means you may get nothing except having to fight rebels by clicking this. And it's just annoying when that happens. The other option here, yes, you are losing points, but you are getting a massive increase in both the gold being produced in this province, which will help out your economy, but also that yearly doom reduction. So how doom works, you get 1 point of doom per year based off of how many provinces you own and how many reforms you pass. And each reform is not worth just 1, but it starts to increase the more you pass. So that extra one means you could have one more province, which is one more province worth of tax income, production income, and manpower, force limit, all of that, just by spending this. And then once you're done with that, you'll get another event once it figures out that you've maxed this thing out, giving you a free stability. Or at least it should. It's not giving it to me now, and I don't know why. Just because it wants to make me look like I'm dumb. But either way, that way you'll get a free stability. There we go. Thank you so much for taking a while for that one. So you're getting a free stability for 75 admin points, and for 75 Diplo points, you're keeping your Doom under control. And Doom is the one thing that is so annoying about playing anybody over here, is that you're constantly having to worry about your Doom. This makes it so much easier to manage. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I will talk about what I do afterwards when I bring you guys back. See you then. And welcome back. So, war's over. I'm going to take this province right here because it opens up more options for me to expand into. And I'm going to, of course, vassalize the rest. As far as Tlaxcala is concerned, since I targeted them with the flower war goal, I don't remember exactly what it is, but you have to vassalize them. You can take the other provinces, but you must leave them at least as one province. Take Tlaxcala, take their money, of course, and then you can go in here and just destroy this fort so you don't have to keep sieging it down. Whenever you pass a reform, you lose all of your vassals. So this Flower Wars, that's what it is called. I thought that's what it was, but I wasn't too sure, so I wanted to just hedge my bets on me being wrong. But you're going to lose him anyway. So by doing this, you're not having to constantly siege out a level 3 fort over and over again. Now again, you have Doom. You don't want to be holding extra provinces. So I'm going to hand that one back, but I'm still keeping this one up here because again, this one allows me to attack other people. Namely, Guamar and Huastec. Now, Huastec I want to just straight up conquer, not take with the Flower Wars. And again, you cannot simply full annex somebody with it. You have to take them as a vassal. So I could get one province out of him, but the other one will remain. So instead, I'm going to build up a spy network and get these provinces for myself, but I'm going to be holding off on that until I get a few more reforms passed. For now, though, it's time to target this guy. Now, he has 2 people that are friends. I have 2 vassals, which means if I take him on now and vassalize all of them, I'll get the 5. But I don't want to do that. I want to own this land myself. The reason why is because there's some gold mines in there, and that'll boost up my economy, as well as give me another fort that I can use to just bleed out my enemies while I keep expanding. And I can do this and only have to fight him with one other person. So I'm going to get my army together, and I'm going to declare on Totonac, and not on him directly. Oh, perfect. You did rival me. Good for you. Now, if you attack this guy over here with the Flower Wars CB, you have to vassalize him. But in the peace deal, you do not have to vassalize any of his allies. You can just straight up full annex them. And you need to take advantage of that to take out other people that are going to have land that you want to take, because that way you don't have to drop CBs or fabricate claims or any of that in order to do this. So take advantage of that, and then you'll be able to keep doing what you're going to need to do. So I'm going to have to actually focus on this because they're over here in 2 different places. So I will bring you guys back when it's time to talk some more. See you then. And welcome back, everybody. So I'm at 5 vassals, which means it's time for a government reform. I actually attacked this guy right here, and I vassalized his 2 friends and then just pieced him out without taking anything to keep the truce timer down. You might have to do the same thing, but if you need to, it's fine. By taking this, I'm going to have a spike up in Doom. I'm going to release all my subjects and lose 1 stability. But I will have the reduced monthly war exhaustion from that, and that is a very good one to have, because you're able to get around some truce timers by attacking somebody and then just sitting on them. They'll full surrender to you, which means you can't wait too long, but with this, you can wait a little bit longer and hope somebody nearby attacks them, allowing you to then vassalize them and make it a defensive war and letting your allies just handle it for you. But I still have to queue and keep on expanding, which means time to keep on going. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Oh, and as you can see, one reform, it gives me plus 1.8. So I end up getting more than just one extra province per reform, but it will kind of slow down. So I'm going to go ahead and keep going. See you guys in a little bit. And welcome back. So, been a few more years, and I've gotten 4 more vassals. These 2, and then it dragged other people in when they attacked them. I vassalized them and, well, got the other people. So I'm at 4, which means I can't take both of these guys as vassals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fully annex this guy. And I'm going to then come in here, and I'm going to make this guy into a vassal. That way, I can just wait a day. I need 1 more stability, so I'll bump that up. Then I can come in here and get the stability cost modifier, because I keep getting stability hitting events. I don't know what's causing it, but I keep getting them. Now that I have that done, I can go right back in here and then re-release him back into the world. I don't know why they allow you to do this, but it would be a lot more difficult if they made you give up any non-cord provinces, but they don't. So use that to have this go a little bit faster, but again, keep an eye on your aggressive expansion. Mine is still pretty tamped down, but it can absolutely start spiking if you go too fast. So take your time and move through things slowly, and pick people off when they're easy targets. Like right here, this guy, and then Zapotec over here would be a pretty quick and easy thing, because he's already up here sieging this guy down. I could run in and just take care of business. So I'm probably actually going to do that just because it'll make it go by a little bit faster. But keep taking tech. Don't worry about saving up for the Europeans for now. They're not going to show up until at least the 1500s. So just take your tech so you don't fall behind people, because that's the last thing you need. And just keep using your numbers advantage against people, because you have more troops and more economy than they have, because you have so many gold mines, and I haven't dev'd anything. It's allowing me to pay for a larger army than anybody else can have. Between that and constantly fighting, giving me generals that actually have decent pips, there's not a whole lot anybody can do. With that being said, I'm going to keep going and keep fighting through these guys and picking off the easy targets, like right here. That'll be 2. This is another one, or I can just go for 4 right here. That might be an option. Either way, I'm going to see what I'm going to do, and I will bring you guys back when there's something new to talk about. As far as your Doom is concerned, you will keep getting events that'll let you pay it off. So just keep taking those events to keep it tamped down until you're able to get enough reforms passed where you can just chill and it will go down on its own. With that being said, see you guys soon. Welcome back. So I keep forgetting to talk about this, so I figured now's as good a time as any. Keep giving strong duchies. You do lose your subjects every time, but it does give you that 2 extra slots, because you have to keep getting to 5, which means you're going to be constantly over your relation slots unless you have no allies, which is obviously dangerous. So just have that so you're not losing more Diplo points than you need to. The other thing I did do is grant the officer corps here, because this will help keep my army tradition high, as well as lower the cost of generals. Even though I'm not really hiring them because I have the button I can click, it will help keep that army tradition high so I can keep getting better generals long term. But I'm going to go ahead and keep going. See you guys soon. What's up, everybody? So for this week, I'm giving away a CD key for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. If you want a copy of this game, just leave a comment below that has the word Wonderlands in it, and at the end of the week, I'll go through and I'll pick one of those comments at random and leave the CD key as a reply to that comment. Now, obviously, this is a public thing that I'm doing, so other people can run in and steal the game from you. So be sure you're paying attention so you can actually make sure that you're the one that gets it and turn on your notifications. Otherwise, I might give you the CD key and you wouldn't even know it. With that being said, let's jump back into the guide. Welcome back, everybody. So I spent a little bit of time fighting these guys, and this was the war target. This guy was an ally, and he is a vassal of this guy. If you take these allies and full annex them when they have a subject, as you can see here, you do end up taking over that vassal, which means that you're going to be able to do exactly what I just did here, and then just piece this guy out as well. And then I can immediately turn around and re-release him, and he will be completely restored. So he loses all of the reasons why he hated me. But that gives me a way for me to immediately come in here and pass another reform. This time, a settler, allowing me to start colonizing my way up and around to keep anybody out of Texas that I don't want here. So by doing this, you're able to not only get the vassal that you would have gotten anyway, because I would have been able to do that in any regard, in any case. However, I'm doing it without having to deal with all the aggressive expansion that I'm building up. And when I break from them, yeah, they get a little bit of opinion malice, but it's not too bad. And then I can just ally them or do whatever I need to do with them, or I want to do with them, and I'll be fine. So it's a way for you to reset to avoid coalitions or anything else that you need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start, because I need to spend some time to recuperate and get truce timers to go away. So I'm going to set to the pressure policy, go up here to Borado, send the colonists there, and I will not have the money to do this, but I will be able to afford it simply by continuously attacking people, because truce timers will slowly go away, allowing me to keep expanding and keep getting vassals to keep passing reforms. And again, you're just trying to do this by around 1500, so don't think that like you have to do it right this second. You are fine. With that being said, see you soon. And welcome back. So as you can see, I'm having a little bit of a doom remaining high. Now, you do have a mechanic with your subjects, and if you find them, I think it's this guy. You scroll down here, you'll see that you can sacrifice their ruler, or you can sacrifice their heir. You will lose doom by doing this, and the amount of doom that you lose will depend on the monarch points that they generate. So if you look over here, you see this guy is actually a 10. So if I want, I can do this, but if I use this guy instead, it's only 6. This guy here is 12, though, which I believe is the highest one. So, oh, it's not showing me the heir. Oh, because he's not an adult. That sucks. Either way, as you can see, 6, or I can just go over to you, sacrifice the ruler, it's 11 points, and yes, it will make him not like me, but I just annexed and re-released him, so I don't mind if he hates me because he can't do anything about it. But with that, I'm able to come back in here, pick up the discipline, then bring my guys back over, because I'm going to be black flagged. And, well, I got one more to go. And as you can see, I'm losing doom naturally now. It eventually catches up that allow you to start taking some substantial land up here in the north to block off Texas, as well as getting some other land here in the central area of Mexico. However, don't go hog wild, because again, you're waiting until the Europeans show up, which means doom is still going to be relevant until that time. And if you have all the land, you're not losing doom because you're not fighting anybody. Because if you read this tooltip, you lose doom by winning battles, occupying provinces, sacrificing rulers, and just the events and ticking time. So having wars actually going on will allow you to have more land, but you can't just take all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and get this reformed and start waiting for the Europeans to arrive. And I do want to point out, you're going north for a reason. Because while the people down here you're going to want to start eating, there are some pretty easy tags up here in the north that you can still vassalize and do exactly what you've been doing down here too, because it doesn't care what kind of vassal it is, it just cares that you have 5 vassals. So I'm going to go ahead and get up there and start looking up in the north. Can you finally see me yet? Nope. So I'm going to probably have to get to this point The good news is that these colonists, it does automatically fog bust everything adjacent once it's built the colony. And once that happens, I can actually move on. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. So somebody, as you can see here, finally drifted far enough south. Now, there's two ways you can go about doing this. One, you can vassalize them, which you can do, but it's going to be a little bit more annoying. And then once you vassalize them, you can integrate them, and then you'll get their maps. The other option is to do what I just did, which is ally them. Once I'm standing in the Rio Grande, I can just get the map. Wait till they come back, and I can get all the maps of every border every territory or region that borders the Rio Grande. So the Mississippi, I can get that. I can also get the Great Plains, I believe it is. And once I can see all that, I can break the alliance, immediately turn around and get them as a vassal, and then integrate them. It'll show me all of the area, and by doing it this way, I'm able to actually see where his friends are, so I can go after them as well. And these guys are going to be relatively easy to attack, because usually you'll be ahead of them. So that is one of the nicer things that you can do, though it might be possible just to pick this guy up as a vassal without having to attack him, in which case that might be good too. And just to make sure people that are aware of this, whenever you integrate a vassal, you actually can inherit their maps. And that's one of the ways that you can do this as well. So don't discount that as an option. But let's see, is there any other ones here that I really... California would be useful. And there we go. Now I can actually see everything in my general area. And then once I can start getting some colonies in this direction, I can then find out if the British are over here, so I can keep them and their 13 colonies from becoming a threat. So I'm going to go ahead and try and pick up this guy as a vassal, because if I can get more maps for free, I'll definitely appreciate that. I did pick up this guy. He was an ally, and then he was voluntarily made into a vassal. I have Colima that I released as one. I'm about to attack a couple of other guys over here once these truces are up, so I can annex them and then potentially release them as a vassal to integrate later, though I do have plenty of admin points coming in. And that's all you're doing until the Europeans show up. Build up a power base so that when they do arrive, you're not going to be a total pushover. You don't need to be able to necessarily win the first war, though. I'm going to go ahead and get to that point. I'll see you guys in a little bit. And welcome back, everybody. So I was able to peacefully colonize right next to Florida here, and that means I'm able to reform my religion. And I'm going to be doing that. However, some of you might not be so lucky. Sometimes the Europeans will attack you before you can get a border with them, or they will start a colony and attack you, and you can't hold out long enough for it to be fully developed so you can then reform your religion. If that happens, you can lose some land. You'll be fine. You will survive. And the reason why is because immediately afterwards, once you reform your religion, just break the truce and go back in and retake your land. The AI is really bad about enforcing peace, it seems, in this patch, meaning that you should, I mean should, it's not always guaranteed, be able to walk back in and get your land back, and if you've saved up points, you'll be able to reform your religion and immediately take up a bunch of tech. Now, I do want to point out something that I was wrong about, because I just learned this while playing, because I wasn't paying attention before, and it does, once you've reformed them entirely, no matter how large you are, it will always give you -3 doom. Once you have all 5 of these reforms, you will never have a doom problem. So go ahead, take over everything you possibly can, just try and stagger yourself before you hit the 5. But now that I am no longer a native tribe and limited by anything, I'm going to immediately start taking these techs, because obviously I'm going to need to keep up with tech. And this should put me on rough parity with Florida. Meaning right now, they are in a very bad position because I have 48,000 troops. I have massive income now, and it should actually be a lot higher. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that gold really starts flowing in once you actually are able to do this. And on top of that, I have more things I can do here, because you basically take all of their government reforms, and yeah, it's time to push Florida out, go through to the south, because I have a colonist now, and I'll be having a lot of colonists now, because I have open idea slots. And I'm going to colonize down south, take Colombia, push out Florida, and move along that line. Now, I'm not actually going to keep playing this, though. I am not a person that used to play Aztec a lot. With the current patch, I'm actually playing Aztec. They're just in another game. And I'm going to load that one up and show you where I'm at. But I wanted to show you a couple of things in here that you should absolutely be aiming for. So give me 1 second. Oh, and I do want to point out, if you look at the date, I'm not kidding when I'm saying there is no rush to hit all 5. If you hit all 5 very quickly, you can do a lot more conquering, but it's absolutely not necessary. If you want to take it slower and make certain that you are having a stable empire without a bunch of rebels or a bunch of loans, you could absolutely do that, because it's not going to be guaranteed what the Europeans do. In most games, they will colonize down here, meaning that if I can just get a colony down here and have it built, I should be good to go. Sometimes they'll just attack me, and I'll end up losing a bit of land, but I end up reforming off of that. In this game, they avoided me for as long as they possibly could. So if you're uncomfortable with having a bunch of loans on a shoestring budget, trying to not implode, waiting for the Europeans to show up eventually, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to do it far more aggressively, get your 5 reforms and then just start spreading out everywhere, that's perfectly viable too. It's however you wish to play the game. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what I'm at this point, and I want to show you what you're trying to aim for. See you in a second. Welcome back. So, corrupt game file, so I can't show you what I've done, though basically all of Colombia, all of Peru, Caribbean, North America, or at least the eastern seaboard, and of course, all of Mesoamerica. But if you go through the mission tree, you'll notice if you just follow along this path, you have drive out the Europeans, which is great, manpower recovery speed, but this one right here is massively important. So, because I can't show you this anymore, I'll just simply show you the chart. And I'm sorry, I don't like going into charts unless it's a chart-style guide, but I just wanted to point out what High American means. So Europeans have their own units. If you've played this game long enough, you'll notice you only have certain units when you're playing certain groups. So the Anatolian group is so lethal, the Ottomans are so lethal, because they have the Anatolian tech group, which means their units, and this is about infantry, do more damage at level 5 than any Western infantry. Now, towards the end of the game, you'll notice this dark blue line that starts off at the very bottom, but ends up at the very end of the game at the very top. But there's another line right there with them, that purple line. That's High American. High American is supposed to be based on a fantasy setting where you have things like the Burning Empire, or Koreans or Chinese tribes, or Vikings that got lost, or the Knights Templar that left during the plague. So they have highly advanced technology, and they have very advanced units. If you go down through here, and you have 5 provinces in Europe, you can get that tech group. Meaning you become the strongest tech group in the game, and no one else is like you. Meaning, even at the end of the game, Western units are just keeping up with you. I think it's shortly after this point where I'm at now. Yeah, tech level 10. If I was High American now, my units would be doing more than double the damage of Castilian troops. Now, what did I want to talk about this for? Realistically, you want to rush this as soon as you can, but 5 provinces in Europe. You're looking for Portugal, you're looking for Denmark, Norway, or you're looking for England. And the reason why is all of those tags have something you can use. Give me 1 second. Okay, welcome back. So, you don't need to have important provinces for this, and this is what I was doing in the test game. I had just gotten into Iceland, the Faroe Islands over here, and then I took Man. That is 5 provinces. You don't need more than that. You can also do with Portugal these 2, and then Castile has these 2 over here. Meaning you can get any islands or any place where it's going to be land not connected to other land that they own and not connected to a fort. So if England has all of Ireland, but it's not connected to England proper, you can take it without actually landing troops there. Meaning if they have a colony over here, and you've seen it built, before they can spawn a colonial nation, if you attack them, and I know it's not fun to do that because you're fighting a lot more than just the small colonial nation, you can get enough war score to take land in Europe. And all you need is 5. Because once you have that 5, after that point, it's just, can you get a foothold? And once you have a toehold in Europe, you will never get pushed out. As long as you have some confidence and some capability with high American tech at the right times, they are not going to stop you. Aztecs, with that change, are now much, much, much stronger than they ever have been. And I think it's a tag that people should play. Even if you typically don't leave Europe, go give it a try. If you can get to that point, you'll probably be playing it a lot more often than you have been. But that's the guide. It's just try and pick people off. Your alliance chains are going to be a little different than mine, but you will have the advantage of numbers and a very strong general at the start. Use him as fast as you can and get some of those bonuses rolling in, and then just keep people isolated and pick them apart as you go. As long as you outnumber people, you'll be fine. Because that's really all it is down there. Just who outnumbers who. And then after that, given the fact that you're Nahuatl, you will have the morale advantage whenever you're fighting people, because the Nahuatl faith gives you plus 10% morale of armies. Something that the Christians just really can't directly keep up with early on. Later on, they'll have more discipline, usually, with the Protestants, but the Catholics, you'll be on an advantage pretty much the entire game. But I hope this helps you guys out. If you guys enjoyed this, like and subscribe. I'm going to be making more guides, and I'm not sure where I'm going next after this one, but thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day.